Have you ever felt like someone was pulling the strings behind the scenes, subtly influencing your decisions without you even realizing it? Manipulation isn't always as obvious as a villain in a movie. In fact, it's happening all around us, in our relationships, workplaces, and even in the media. The scariest part? You might not even realize it's happening until it's too late. But what if I told you there's a way to spot manipulation before it affects your life? Today, we're going to dive into the psychology of manipulation, and more importantly, how to recognize it in everyday life. We'll explore the hidden psychological tactics manipulators use to control others, whether it's in personal relationships, business environments, or political arenas. The first step to protecting yourself is recognizing manipulation as it happens. You may be thinking, how can manipulation happen in everyday situations? Aren't we too smart to fall for that? The truth is, manipulation is often subtle. It isn't always about obvious lies or deceit. It can show up as praise, concern, or even care. What makes it particularly dangerous is that it often targets your emotions, your self-esteem, or your perception of reality. Understanding manipulation is not just about identifying harmful behaviors in others. It's also about building awareness in ourselves to protect both our mental well-being and the integrity of our decisions. Recognizing manipulation is crucial because it can help you reclaim control over your life. Whether it's a romantic partner who subtly undermines your self-worth, a colleague who uses charm to take advantage of your hard work, or a politician who manipulates fear to gain power, awareness is your best defense. In this video, we'll break down exactly how these tactics work, why they're so effective, and how you can fight back. By the end, you'll have the tools to protect yourself from manipulative behavior and better understand how manipulation affects those around you. Let's begin by understanding what manipulation is and how it differs from persuasion. Manipulation is a psychological strategy used to influence or control another person's actions, thoughts, or feelings without their awareness. It often involves deceit, emotional exploitation, or underhanded tactics designed to benefit the manipulator at the expense of the victim. Unlike persuasion, where the goal is mutual benefit through reasoned argument, manipulation works covertly, with the manipulator aiming for a one-sided gain. Manipulation often plays on our emotions, fear, guilt, love, or insecurity to achieve its goal. A manipulator may make you feel as if you owe them something, or they may trigger your worst fears to push you into action. Over time, this can result in emotional dependency, confusion, and self-doubt, making it harder for you to make independent decisions. Manipulation is often gradual, starting with small, seemingly innocent behaviors that over time escalate. Manipulators don't usually reveal their true intentions outright. Instead, they disguise their motives through kindness, charm, or promises. A manipulator will carefully observe your vulnerabilities and use them to their advantage. They might start by offering praise or pretending to be your biggest supporter, all to build trust. But as the relationship deepens, the manipulator uses these emotional hooks to control your actions. You might find yourself making decisions that benefit them without fully understanding how you got there. And the worst part is, you may even begin to doubt your ability to make decisions without their influence. It's important to distinguish between manipulation and persuasion. At first glance, they may seem similar. Both involve attempting to influence someone's thoughts or actions. However, persuasion is based on presenting arguments, ideas, or facts in an open manner, often with mutual benefit in mind. In persuasion, both parties are aware of the influence being exerted, and they consent to it. Manipulation, on the other hand, is hidden. It involves influencing someone without their consent or awareness, often through deceit, emotional pressure, or by taking advantage of their insecurities. In manipulation, the manipulator gains at the victim's expense. Over time, manipulation becomes more subtle, making it increasingly difficult for the victim to recognize the tactics being used against them.
Types of manipulations. One of the most dangerous and insidious forms of manipulation is gaslighting. It is a tactic where the manipulator makes the victim question their perception of reality. The manipulator may deny facts, twist your words, or convince you that your memories are false. Over time, this causes the victim to lose trust in their own mind, making them more vulnerable to further manipulation. Gaslighting can range from small moments, such as saying, "I never said that," to more severe instances like denying an event that you clearly remember happening. This tactic undermines the victim's confidence and creates confusion, leading them to second-guess themselves. Eventually, the victim may begin to believe the manipulator's version of reality, leaving them emotionally dependent on the manipulator for validation. Example: if someone says, "You're remembering that wrong, you always get things mixed up," or "You never heard me say that, you must be imagining it," this is a classic sign of gaslighting. Over time, you may start to doubt your ability to trust your own experiences. Another common manipulation technique is emotional blackmail. Manipulators use fear, guilt, or obligation to force others into compliance. For instance, they may use phrases like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me," or "I'll be devastated if you don't help me." The goal of emotional blackmail is to make the victim feel responsible for the manipulator's emotional state, causing them to act out of guilt or fear. This tactic is particularly dangerous because it makes the victim feel morally obligated to comply, often at the expense of their own well-being. The manipulator might even make exaggerated threats or use emotional appeals to create a sense of urgency. "If you don't agree with me, I'll never forgive you," or "This is your last chance to prove you care." The silent treatment is a passive-aggressive form of manipulation. Instead of directly confronting an issue, the manipulator withdraws communication, affection, or support. This tactic is designed to cause anxiety in the victim, pushing them to chase after the manipulator's approval or affection. Over time, the silent treatment creates a power imbalance in the relationship, where the victim feels compelled to earn back the manipulator's favor. This is particularly harmful in close relationships, as it undermines trust and makes the victim feel emotionally unstable or unimportant. Manipulators often play the victim in order to gain sympathy and control. By portraying themselves as helpless or oppressed, they can draw others into their emotional world, making the victim feel responsible for their suffering. Example: "Why does this always happen to me? I just can't handle it anymore. You're the only one who understands." By consistently playing the victim, the manipulator manipulates the emotions of those around them, creating a sense of obligation or guilt in others. Flattery is another powerful tool for manipulation. Complimenting someone excessively or exaggerating their qualities can lower their defenses, making them more vulnerable to influence. A manipulator may flatter you, saying things like, "You're the smartest person I know. I could never do this without you,"
to gain your trust and get you to comply with their wishes. At first, flattery may feel good. However, over time, it creates a sense of emotional indebtedness where you feel compelled to return the favor or comply with the manipulator's requests. Triangulation is when a manipulator uses a third person to create conflict, jealousy, or rivalry between two parties. This tactic is often used to control relationships, stirring emotions like envy, insecurity, or doubt. By bringing in a third party, whether real or imagined, the manipulator keeps everyone off balance, ensuring that they remain in control of the situation. Example: a manipulative friend might gossip behind your back to another friend, causing them to question your loyalty or trustworthiness. This creates a sense of tension between the two of you, while the manipulator stays in the background, controlling the narrative.
In everyday life, manipulation can appear in many different areas. Manipulation is especially prevalent in romantic relationships, where emotional bonds can make the victim more susceptible to control. A manipulative partner may use guilt, jealousy, or emotional abuse to manipulate their significant other into doing things they wouldn't normally agree to. For instance, a partner might say, "If you really cared about me, you would do this," or "No one else will love you the way I do." Another manipulation tactic in relationships is isolation. A manipulative partner may work to cut you off from family and friends, making you emotionally dependent on them. This tactic isolates you from your support network, making it more difficult for you to see the manipulation and break free. Manipulation in business can be more subtle, but just as dangerous. A manipulative boss or coworker may use charm or intimidation to gain power over others. They might flatter you to gain your trust, only to later use that trust to get you to take on more work or sacrifice your own interests. Alternatively, they may spread rumors or create conflict between colleagues to maintain control of the office dynamic. In sales, manipulation often takes the form of pressure tactics, where the salesperson uses guilt or urgency to force a decision. They may say things like, "This is the last one in stock. If you don't buy it now, you'll miss out." In politics, manipulation often occurs through fear tactics and emotional appeals. Politicians may exploit people's fears, creating a sense of urgency or crisis to push their agenda. They might play on societal divisions, saying things like, "If we don't act now, our way of life will be destroyed," or "Only I can protect you from these threats." Media manipulation is also rampant in politics, where information is selectively presented to create a narrative that supports the manipulator's goals. By shaping public opinion, politicians can control the conversation and gain more power. How to defend yourself against manipulation. The first step in defending yourself from manipulation is self-awareness. Manipulators are highly skilled at playing on your emotions, so being in tune with your feelings is crucial. If something doesn't feel right, trust your gut. Often, our intuition can alert us to manipulation before our logical mind catches up. Establishing clear boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from manipulators. Don't be afraid to say no or to stand firm when someone is trying to push you into a decision. It might be uncomfortable at first, but setting boundaries is essential for maintaining your independence and self-respect. Developing critical thinking skills can help you recognize manipulation early. When someone is trying to influence you, ask yourself questions like, "What does this person really want from me?" or "Why am I feeling this way?" By staying calm and objective, you can cut through the emotional fog manipulators create and make more rational decisions. If you're unsure about a situation, seek advice from someone you trust. An outsider's perspective can help you see things more clearly and spot manipulation that might be hidden from your view. Manipulation is everywhere, hidden in relationships, business, and politics. By recognizing the tactics manipulators use, such as gaslighting, emotional blackmail, and flattery, you can protect yourself from their influence. The most important thing is awareness. The more you understand how manipulation works, the less likely you are to fall victim to it. By becoming more self-aware, setting boundaries, and thinking critically, you take back control over your decisions and your life. Manipulation is a powerful tool, but knowledge is your weapon. By recognizing manipulation early, you can safeguard your mental health, protect your relationships, and make sure you're always in control of your own decisions. Have you ever been manipulated? Or do you have tips on how to spot manipulation? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos on psychology, philosophy, and how to protect yourself from manipulation.